physically out there, and what do you hope that were able to bring to this team?
You out for a while. That win, trying to get your wins a little tough, but got going a little bit. Felt good. The back felt really good. Body felt good. I just wanted to bring a little spark for us. Try to do the best of my ability. You know, um, and sometimes you can do that and have games like this where you don't win. So, but all in all, everything for me felt good. Wish the outcome was different.
Defensively, where do you think this team is right now, especially after this game? This is a pretty difficult matchup with how young and athletic this team is for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just right now, we're obviously we haven't been where we wanted to be. Um, coming back from the East Coast, long trip. We just got to refocus, got to recalibrate. Right now, we're kind of droggy, um, and we're seeing it out there. We feel it as players, coaching staff. I'm sure the fans feel it too. But yeah, we just got to recalibrate, and that's really it. We're gonna get it together, but right now we're trying to find it and trying to find where we need to go.
So, Marcus, I've seen you hit 11 threes in the game before. This season, you came in 25%. Like, what made you feel, what was different about tonight where you was able to hit 8 threes compared to the other games that we saw so far this season?
Um, for me, just I just continue to work, and I trust the work that I'm putting in. I continue to put in, and eventually shots are gonna fall. Um, I can't control whether the shot goes in or not. All I can do is control how I prepare, and that's to make the shot. And I've been doing it, everything right. Tonight was a night for me, and hopefully that starts, a trend for me to start making some shots.
Marcus, you had 26 points tonight off the bench, but the bench scoring was kind of a problem the rest of the way. What can be done to kind of get the rest of the guys going, get more consistent production from the reserves?
Um, it's tough out there. We got a lot of great guys that can score the ball, um, and make plays. So I guess for us as the bench guys, we just got to find our way within those parameters that we have, um, and try to find those shots. It's tough, but we got to find a way.
Hey, Marcus, they kind of made spurts there, to jump out ahead and you guys come back and they jump out ahead again. What did you see out there that kind of helped them make those runs?
Um, for one, I lack of communication. This team does a really good job. When it comes to in the open court in transition, and they got one of the fastest players in the league with Fox. So we just didn't do a good job of getting back and communicating with one another. And we got to fix that. That's going to be key for us. When we can get people in the half court, set our defense, it makes it easier. We got to get out and run and chase from behind. It makes it a lot harder.
Marcus, in terms of coming off the bench, I think Rui talked about this morning. Like sometimes you don't get the ball, but you have to be ready to make most of the opportunities. You started in this league, come off the bench in this league. Just what? How do you do that? How do you always have that mindset to get ready?
Just control what I can control. Rui's right. It's tough. I don't think people really recognize and understand how tough that is. Not really knowing, going to start coming off the bench, how many minutes going to play, and then also, are you going to get the ball, to make an impact on the offensive end? And then, you get out there and you don't, and it's like, well, what am I doing out here? You got to figure it out, and like you said, you got to make the best of your opportunities. Um, and it is tough, but we got to figure it out. That's why we're professional. And for me, it's just control what I can control. That's been my motto. And anybody knows me, you guys know it. I can only control what I control. I can't control whether or not I get the ball. If I'm open, I'm doing my job. The ball doesn't come to me. That's something I can't control. I got to figure it out how to put myself in the position again to be open and do my job. And hopefully everybody else can do their job to find open men. So just control what you can control.
Marcus, over here. Uh, you guys, they go on a 17-2 run in the first and the second quarter. A close game, a game that you had led at one point, suddenly bleeds into a 20-point lead for them. And it seems like in that stretch, there's a lot of turnovers on your guys' side, a lot of missed shots. Like you said, they're not getting back on defense. And, a little run for them turns into a really big run that they're chasing the rest of the game. And that's happened, I think, to this team a few times throughout the season. How do you stop that from turning a small wound into, a big gash and bleeding and a small lead into a
We're gonna have to
20-point
look at ourselves. You know, We're gonna have to really sit down with ourselves and figure that out. You know, we got whatever it takes. You know, this is a league where, unfortunately, those things can happen. You know, everybody's good and everybody's working on their game, and everybody wants to win, and especially playing against us. Anytime you come here and you play against the Lakers, we're going to get everybody's best shot. So we really got to look ourselves in the mirror and figure out what we're going to do. We're going to lay down and get punked, or we're going to fight back. And I'm not the one to lay down and get punked, so hopefully we can find a way to fight back. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Luka, one thing that JJ mentioned, kind of the similarity between how Phoenix and San Antonio were playing with a big and a deep drop and start trying to and not blitzing, right? Trying to force you in Austin into certain shots. Do you agree with that and kind of see that coverage and what's a way to counter that?
Yeah, I mean they were playing that coverage, but I think it was more defensively today. You know, they were just driving us. Let's go with 120 points, so I think it's enough to win. You know, just gotta guard better.
Yeah, that was the other thing you meant, just the kind of the ball pressure and on the perimeter. Where and how can you guys get better on defense in that sense?
I mean, they were just going downhill, drive and kick. You know, they scored I think like 10 3-pointers in the first half. They got up pretty quickly, so just each one of us got guard better. You know, not let your guy drive it that way.
Marcus was brought in with a defensive reputation, and that was part of the reason why you guys would want him. When I asked him about kind of the defensive perimeter issues thus far, he was like, "We really haven't had the group together yet, and when you're trying to play five guys on a string, you have to be knowing that camaraderie and kind of the where the other guy's going to be." Do you think that is like a basic tenet of what can get this team better? Just the experience with the guys together as the games go on, considering you haven't necessarily had that over the first 24 games.
Yeah, for sure. You know, obviously smart. Uh, Everybody knows what brought him. Uh, Obviously they had a great offensive game too. But he brought the energy of the bench. You know, when he guards, when he talks to us, we listen to him. So, you know, just gotta be a little more see what he's doing. Trying to be better on the defensive end. We gotta figure out being better on the defensive end for sure.
How I understand that every team is different and all situations are unique, but just generally speaking, how long does it take to build a team defense?
I don't know.
Is this going to be a
2 weeks.
I mean, is it, but I mean, is it one of those things like, I mean, do you have to play like 30, 40 games together? Like, I mean, is it that big of an undertaking or can it happen quicker?
I mean, obviously it can happen quicker, but like we know in NBA is 82 games, so I won't say we got time, but we need to figure out pretty quickly. I think our record it's pretty good, 17-7. That's pretty good to start, but I feel like we can be so much better than this.
Luka, obviously a lot of minutes tonight, 40 minutes. But when you go to the bench and you see your team trying to figure it out and work on the floor, like what do you see when you're on the bench and you're seeing the team um, trying to trying to be better? It was a struggle tonight when you went to the bench second quarter and fourth quarter.
I mean, I wasn't that good either, so I think it's just team effort. I'm comfortable on the bench. We have so many players that can do so many different stuff, so I'm comfortable seeing. You know, in other games they made the run. In other games, when I'm on the court, we made the run. So I think just we have a group that can do it. We just got to figure out.
Understanding that the time and the score was what it was in the fourth quarter when you guys were using that small ball lineup. Is there anything you could take away moving forward with that group? You guys can cut it maybe like 8 when you guys are playing centerless. Is there anything you guys can learn or moving forward?
Yeah, I think they were pretty good minutes. I think we got it down to 9 or 8 after being down 24. I think so. Those were pretty good minutes. You know, everybody was hustling. They had Cornet on the floor, so everybody needed to box out. And then from there, we just run. We were probably faster in the small lineup, so I think there was some pretty good minutes. Thank you.